dragonsintheclouds.com. The prices that you see for his book, well, you have various books, right? Or is it just this one book?
I do have other stories finished, but this is the first one I have published, yes.
Okay. And so, and what is the retail price in American currency in U.S. dollars?
For the paperback, it's $15.99, and Kindle ebook, it is $4.99.
All right.
U.S. dollars.
Now, okay. And you had mentioned that you have a slew of events already scheduled there to take place in the L.A. area. Tell us about one that you have upcoming, your most recent upcoming one.
Well, the one will be at a Knox Berry Farm. They have a shop in there that has different items depending on the season, but they have a wonderful dragon display that they're going to be putting my book in the middle of it.
Oh, beautiful. And, of course, people you already know. And what is that street that it's on? You know, definitely get out to Knox Berry Farms. And what day and time do they need to get there for your event?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that has not been established yet. We're working on that now. I'm working with the publisher. All of these dates have not been confirmed. The publisher will be working on that. I'm sorry, I do not have that. I do not have that information yet, but it will be put up on my site.
Yes, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one. People are eager to have a chance to know where they can come out and meet the author, have you to autograph copies of their book, of your book that they've purchased, and the story, people, to kind of give you an idea. Of course, when you go and you call up Dragons in the Clouds by David Blair, whether it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whomever, you'll be able to see the cover is beautiful, and you can tell from that you're going to be taken on an adventure. And from what I gather from the story, everything, I can imagine this took a while because everything, while, yeah, there are naturally, you know, some familiar references, but this is so original. I love some of the things, and I'm not going to give away some of the details, well, maybe just one or two of the things that I love, the way you did a twist. And I'll say it this way so that way it's still kind of cryptic without me giving away the book. I like the way you spun the elements, and I like the way you played on past literary references that have historical inferences into them. And so, yeah, I like the way you did that, and you created a whole, not only one whole new world, but a few completely different worlds. And, of course, you know, slews of characters, lots of action, lots of objects. How long did it take you to write this?
To be honest with you, it was a gift given to me from above because I did write it rather fast. I had been developing, I was in the creative time of my life, and I had just finished a story called Dragons in the Clouds. And Puff the Magic Dragon was always a favorite of mine. And so I wanted to tackle that idea, that story. And as I was working on creating a story for it, I read in the Variety that Universal Studios had picked up the idea for Puff the Magic Dragon. So they bought the rights to it. So I was left with a great motivation to write a dragon story, but nowhere to go. So I was hunting around for ideas, and I saw this, believe it or not, a little pewter statue of a dragon holding a crystal ball in a store. And I was just like looking at it, and I promise you, I swear to you, out of nowhere, the whole story just came to me.
I believe you.
This dragon was sitting on top of the clouds, and a statue dragon was sitting on top of the clouds holding a crystal ball. And it just popped into my head, Dragons in the Clouds. And the idea of that they had to be weightless to escape extermination from a ruling king was just, and to make their voices, their roars sound like thunder, and their fire is lightning.
The lightning. Yes.
I mean, who doesn't wonder about that every day, even from childhood to adulthood? Lightning and thunder is always just so magical and just so, it just grabs your attention and you just stare, and when it's right above you and it's cracking, the thunder is so loud it chases you indoors. I just wanted to capture that feeling with the dragons, with dragons and the thought. Like I've pitched it to kids, wondering how they take the concept, and right away it just captures their imagination. They actually believe it, that dragons are blowing fire, that lightning is dragons blowing fire. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful spin on it, and of course, as we, and the other thing, of course, I still don't need you to tell me how long it took you. I would say from the time you put pen to paper to the moment you were like, it's done, it's finished.
To be honest with you, it's never finished. It's never, I did finish it. It's out in print. It's been published. It's finished. Technically it's finished. But if I had my chance, I would get back into it and add to it or take away from it. It's really funny when you're the creator.
Yeah, it would be additional episodes, additional volumes of it. It can
right.
Be, but no, it's perfect as is. A lot of times, and not only writers, and I give this advice frequently to people who I assist with publishing through bepublished.org, as well as people that I help with business, period. I always tell them that, a lot of times we're trying to make something be what we want it to be instead of allowing it to be what it's meant to be. And I like using the analogy of children. We all have hopes of, what a child would be like and personalities, and we teach children certain things to assure that, hey, they have certain things in order. But, hey, ultimately it's still going to be its own thing, because any creation truly is living. And so, yeah, when it's, just like with this, you knew when it was time to turn it over. You knew. So for people who are trying to say, hey, I would love to create something like this, let them know, how long did it take you? And you did say it was a quick process. So how long was the writing? Because I know novels in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, some it takes 8 years. So it's a broad range.
Right. The initial concept of dragons living in the clouds, being weightless, given the spell weightlessness, that was automatic. I really have to say that.
Yeah.
I bought the Peter statue I mentioned in the store, and that's when it first gave me the original idea. The original, hey, I got something, right? I got it.
Right.
Before I made it home.
What year was that you saw the statue in the store?
I don't want to, to be honest with you, it was 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, then perfect.
It was that's when I was working with a writer, and we were working on other things, and I was really creative. But see, what happened was that, so I bought the statue. Before I made it home that night, within the hour, I had the whole treatment. It's called a treatment. You develop a story as a treatment, and then you elaborate on the treatment. And a treatment is like a 20-page outline of your story. And so then, after you create your treatment, you take the treatment sentence by sentence, and you elaborate.
Oh, yes, right. And so, of course, the answer to the question, because, of course, we have tight time, so we have to move forward. So it was a process of about 20 years from start to completion. And I would imagine that during that time, naturally, as you were explaining, it was different parts that were being developed, but all from day one. You embraced that immediate idea that you had, and you immediately started moving forward. And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I can't do it. I got this going on. I got that going on. So you are a living example to let them know, no, even with other things going on, as long as you consistently devote the time that you need to your creative project, it's going to be completed, and you will be able to celebrate it being released. And I would imagine that reception has been pretty good for the project. It's a beautiful work. Tell me about some of the feedback that you've received so far.
I've been receiving a lot of nothing but praise on the story.
Yes.
There are critiques. There are critics, but everyone has an opinion, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I have been. Yeah, it's. I expect. I keep at it, and I promise you, it will be made into a movie. Just the right person needs to.
Excellent.
Just the right person needs to see it. That's all.
Exactly. Yes, and you've already gone through and you've taken it step by step to where at any given moment, have you already gone through and started devising the screenplay version of it, scripting it out that way, or is that going to be one of the things that you'll be working on next once someone shows interest?
I was taught and trained in screenwriting format,
Okay.
and I would to break it down. That is how I wrote the story. Dragons in the Clouds wasn't originally a screenplay.
Yeah, and when you mentioned treatment, that was instantly where I went with, okay, I could tell that, he's from the production end, on the broadcast side, so,
right.
Yeah, because of course, and most people, when they write books, of course, don't start with a treatment. That's usually something that's for TV shows, things like that. And I myself have, written some of everything. And, but yes, you have to be sure to stay at it because I can totally see this as a movie. I would be one who will enjoy going to see the movie. I am one who definitely will be enjoying soon holding a copy of your book in my hand. And people, I encourage you all, go out and get a copy of David Blair's Dragons in the Clouds. You can go to his website, dragonsintheclouds.com, and pick up your copy. It's only $15 for a paperback book, and of course for an ebook, it's about $5. I think you said $4.95.
Yes, $4.99.
$4.99.
Correct.
And Mr. Blair, thank you so much, David, for coming on Articulation Radio and sharing some time with us. I would love to have you back again on another episode.
I would love to, because there's so much more to say.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And 10 minutes is definitely not long enough. Not long enough. I mean, and there were even so many things I wanted to say, but I'm glad I at least, threw out those little cryptic nuggets. But one of them you gave away when I said the play on the weather, and you still told them that, but that was good and juicy, though, so that way they can even see how even little small things, there's so many different things in this book, guys, where he connects with you on an emotional level, on a nostalgic level, on an academic level. There's so many different, and that's why I had to ask. I mean, you guys, you got to get this. You got to get this. You got to get this. This David Blair's Dragons in the Clouds. And, of course, we will play a few more songs for you guys here shortly. And, but I want to hear your feedback. Go to David's website, dragonsintheclouds.com. Get his book. And, of course, after you get his book, especially if you get it from Amazon, be sure, any website, be sure to go back on that very site and drop some reviews for him, okay? Let's give him some support. All right?
Thank you. Hey, real quick, I have a group on Facebook, Dragons in the Clouds group. Please join it.
Oh, yes, definitely do, people. You heard him. Tell him again, David.
Dragons in the Clouds is a group, is a page on Facebook. We have over 600 members, and we're growing.
Yes, people, go ahead and make it to where here within the next week he has a good 6,000. Make it happen for him. Spread the word. Go ahead and join, and that way you can stay abreast of course, as they go ahead and solidify the upcoming events he has. Then you'll be able to be among the first people to find out when and where you can go and see him and get your book autographed when you're in L.A., baby. David,
thank you.
We love you here on Articulation Radio.
Thank you. I love you, too.
Enjoy the rest of today, and, of course, keep being a doer and keep being a move maker, and you are exemplary, and thank you for letting people see that as long as they never give up on themselves, then anything it is that they're trying to make happen will happen as long as they're consistently doing that work. And you